Every year, millions of shipping containers come into the US through our nation's ports. That means owner-operators who run drayage trucking businesses enjoy access to a constant stream of freight and revenue opportunities. Wondering what it takes to start hauling containers in the ports as an owner-operator? In this video, we consider 6 things to consider when starting a drayage company. So for the majority of owner-operators, they're gonna start out as company drivers for the most part. And no, it's not required, but it definitely makes it easier getting that experience from being a company driver. You get access to more of those leasing opportunities with carriers. What we require here at Schneider to be an owner-operator in the drayage field is you're gonna have to have a valid CDL, that's Class A CDL. You're also going to need to have a TWIC card at the latest by the time that your lease starts. You're also going to want to have at least 6 months of tractor trailer experience. That way, you're really succeeding out there on the road. You're going to have at least 1 truck, if not 2. And it's got to be model year 2000 or newer in order to get that into the ports. So each port area is going to have a mileage radius. Most of the time it's 50 to 100 miles within that radius of that port. So you want to make sure you're within a certain mileage of that. If you own your own truck, the biggest advantage is you own it yourself. It's yours. Nobody else can tell you what you have to do with it. The other thing is that each time you make a payment for that month when you've purchased it yourself, is you're making more equity. So the advantages of leasing, you get to get rid of it at some point if you want to. So it makes it a little bit easier to get newer equipment more quickly. There's definitely options to do lease to own too, if that's something that you're more interested in. If you were to lease on with Schneider as a drayage owner operator, you'd want to make sure that you have a model year 2000 or newer, or if you're doing any ports out in California, you want to have a 2010 model year or newer. You also want to make sure that you're meeting EPA 10 emissions requirements and making sure that that truck is going to meet DOT inspections. About 80% of the owner-operators that I speak with are going to have those limited liability companies. About the other 25% or so, 20 to 25% are going to be the sole proprietorships. The advantages of a sole proprietorship are going to be that it's quick and easy to get done. But the downside is that you don't have as much liability coverage with a sole proprietorship. So the biggest advantage of having a limited liability company is going to be that increased liability coverage. The disadvantages to that are going to be that it does have some more hoops to jump through in sending out different files and paperwork to either the government or whatever contractor you're going to be contracting your businesses through. The TWIC card is going to be a card that you're going to apply with the TSA, and it's going to be approved by the TSA and the US Coast Guard. And what it allows is for you to get unsupervised access into secure areas within those ports. So for the cost of a TWIC card, it's going to be about $125, but remember that it's going to last for 5 years. You're going to apply online at the TSA's website for a TWIC card. After you've set up that application, you're going to sign up to go to a TWIC registration facility. And there you're going to get fingerprints done. You're going to have a photo ID taken of your face, so that way it can be included with the TWIC card. You're going to have to turn in all required documents that are going to be listed on the TSA website. And then you're going to want to have a US passport or a driver's license and a birth certificate with you in order to get that all secured for yourself. When it comes to how long it takes for a brand new owner-operator to get their documentation set up, it's going to depend completely on how ambitious you are as a driver. How quickly do you want to get your business up and running? Some examples of the documentation that a drayage owner is going to have is going to be an SS4 form, which is going to be that letter from the IRS confirming what your employer identification number is. You're also going to want to make sure you have base plates if you're going to use those, licensing. So the biggest advantage of leasing on with a drayage carrier is going to be that access to constant loads. They're gonna be more predictable. And, you're gonna see the loads on load boards, and being with a carrier that focuses on drayage, they're always gonna have those loads there for you, and they're gonna be consistent. For when it comes to applying for a port drayage business opportunity, Schneider offers lease opportunities for business owners at most ocean ports and inland ports in the United States. Learn more about our drayage opportunities and give us a call to lease on with one of the nation's busiest carriers today.